Hello, welcome to Daily Wellbeing with Gemma. This week I want us to think a little bit about routines and habits. So routines are a little bit about our timetable, what the patterns are of how we spend our time. And it might be that it's a daily routine, a weekly routine, a monthly routine. Habits are slightly different in my mind because they're more linked to the psychology of the brain. So when we're thinking about positive habits, we need to bear in mind that the brain is made up of neurons. So these are nerves that send electrical signals that make us move our body parts, send, sensors, and effectively inform our behaviour. And the first time we're trying to create a new behaviour, it takes a lot of effort for neurons to fire, for them to build up enough electrical capacity to do that. But when we fire them over and over again, it becomes easier. And so that behaviour is easier to trigger in future. An easier way of thinking about this is imagine if you're walking through a field of long grass. The first time you go through the field, it's a bit difficult to navigate. You have to kind of tread it down, push the grass to one side to see where you're going. But by the third time, you've already squashed down a little path. And although there might be some awkwardness and you might not be sure of your footing, on the whole, you can follow the path you've gone down before. And then imagine if you walk that path for 30 days, that grass will get trodden down so much that you've almost got a footpath that is now super easy to follow. So why this is interesting is that we can choose positive habits to put into our lives, and we can choose routines that look after our well-being. And although they're quite hard to get started with, the more we repeat them, the more easy they become, and then all of a sudden that just becomes part of who we are. So things that you could think about are, if we can go back to the 4 well-being areas in terms of our physical health, our emotional health, intellectual health, and our spiritual health. So things like sleep. What's your routine going to be at night time? How many hours sleep do you need? Is there anything that you can do as part of your nightly routine to help you get to sleep better, such as turning off electrical devices, doing some sort of meditation or reading a book, something that helps to settle you, perhaps even a warm drink or a shower or a bath to help you get into that relaxed state ready for a good quality sleep. We can think about routines and habits that we want to have in place for the morning as well. So can you set a regular time each day so that that becomes normal to your body clock? What would give you the best start to the day, whether that's some quiet time or listening to music or watching something uplifting? What would you like to put in place so that you're starting the morning in the best way possible? And include people in your household in this process. It might be that you all want to share the same routine. It might be that different people need different routines and want to respect each other's space. You might want to think about routines for the end of the workday, especially given that lots of us are working from home. How do you make that definition between work and play? So is it that you switch your computer off, you tidy your desk away, you move to a different space, perhaps you even change clothes so that you've got a physical sensation that now the evening is different. So have a think about what could happen there. Routines can also be weekly, such as when you do the shopping, when you see people. Social routines are really interesting. I find that the friends that I'm the best at keeping in touch with are the ones who we've had a weekly routine for the last 12 years to play board games every Tuesday. And I don't have to think about booking in time with them because it's just part of my routine now. So with family, with friends, are there things you'd like to do, such as movie night or monthly quiz or, however regularly you'd like? If you set a routine, it will help you stay in touch with those people more easily because it's just becoming a habit. I've mentioned a couple of different ideas there, but something that I want you to be very aware of is that routines take time to implement and they're quite difficult when you start. So with that in mind, don't do everything all at once. maybe make a list of different routines you want to try out and then prioritise which ones you want to start with first. Experts kind of say, it takes 7 days to get started, but 30 days for it to be embedded. So it might well be that you try out your new routine for a week, and if it's working for you, then you might start your second thing, or you might want to give it a whole month of making sure that routine is sorted and has become easy and part of your system before you then start the next routine. But it's definitely something worth trying out, because a lot of the most successful business leaders and psychologists and people kind of in those industries say that actually having those positive habits is one of the best keys for their success. So I hope you find that interesting. I'd look forward to hearing what kind of routines you're putting in place, and I hope that it works out for you. See you next time. Bye.